to the F3 podcast, where we discuss all things that pertain to faith, family, and finances. We are your hosts today. I am Dr. Lionel M. Blair Sr., and I'm sitting next to the glorious, wonderful, sainted mother herself, Saint Jasmine the First, my wonderful wife, Dr. Jasmine Blair. We got a good one for you today. And remember, always remember, no subject, no subject is off limits.
Welcome, everybody, to the F3 podcast. Thank you for joining us. Listen, be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time we drop a new episode. We've got a great topic for you today, as always. And remember, we'll talk about what your pastor won't. Today, we're going to talk about why some believers do some of the most ignorant things in the world in the name of faith.
Mhm.
Now, let me go ahead and give a couple disclaimers because I know the charismatics is coming for me. So let me give you guys a couple disclaimers. Yes, I know the Bible says that God will use the foolish things to confound the wise. We're not talking about the stuff that He using. We talking about the stuff that you're doing. Okay. Yes, I know that God will use something that looks crazy, and it seems like it doesn't make any sense. And I got all that. We're not talking about the principles of Scripture. We're talking about the foolishness that we create of our own volition, and then we sprinkle the Scripture on top of it and turn it into something that God is using or God is doing when it was us. That's what I'm talking about. This kind of faith looks very bad. This kind of faith is a turnoff for some people because they're just like, okay, well, what? And this is something that we've got to address. It's something that we got to address.
Mhm.
It goes into the other topic we talked about. This name it and claim it mentality. Oh, Jesus gonna do it. Oh, we thank Jesus. He gonna do it, and then you don't do nothing, and then you mad because he don't do what you was supposed to do yourself.
Right.
He didn't do what you need to do. So we've got to talk about this. And one thing that I've noticed with some of this stuff, you have some pastors that do not want to correct this. They don't
Hmm.
want to address it, especially in a more charismatic environment. They're afraid to correct this stuff. Then, when we say something, all of a sudden we mean and we're the problem.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense at all. I remember years ago, there was a situation at this ministry one time. I wasn't a part of it, I was just visiting. But, let's call these people watermelon and croissant. Watermelon and croissant. Watermelon and croissant was showing up to the church, and it had these situations where it was always the craziest story. And so they were, in so many words, in a faith season, yet every time they showed up, croissant and watermelon had some kind of need. And so, everybody's loving and caring, right? We want to help croissant and watermelon. But then after a while, they was like, okay, wait a minute. If you are moving in all this faith, why is it every time you show up here, you need this, you need that? How about you just get a job? Or how about you just get a different job? Or how about you get two jobs? Like, croissant can get a job and watermelon can get a job. And at the time there were people, okay, well, we can maybe connect you with this person to help you get a job. We connect you this person to get a job. So they just stopped showing up.
Hmm.
What's my point? Some people's foolish faith is just a way to covertly cover up their natural dysfunction that really needs to be counseled out or cast out. Why? Because these people are in a faith based community. We allow their ignorance to be bliss, and then we don't want to hurt people's feelings. No, some of this stuff is stupid that we are saying, oh, God told me and God said.
Hmm.
It's stupid. I cannot tell you how many people that we have met, people who are leaders or who proclaim to be leaders, that they have gone through a season of faith that they created. We're not talking about something that God called them into. Well, how you know the difference? Because the difference is in the provision and how God opens doors and blesses them.
Yep.
You know, when God keeps blessing you with jobs and you keep quitting jobs
Come
and
on.
saying, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna trust God,"
Oh
but
God.
God just gave you like six-figure jobs and you keep quitting them all.
Lord have mercy. You know we've seen
You
that
know, we've
so
met
many
men and
times.
women that have done these things. Well, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna try. Well, why you keep quitting jobs? You know, I'm not talking about a season of transition or a sabbatical season. You know, we got all that. But it's foolish for God to bless you with whatever employment that you applied for, that you said that He gave you the job. God ain't gonna keep giving you a job and then you quit the job. You done quit 6, 7 jobs within the last 2 years. That's not on God. That's you. You are
That's
foolishly
you.
using faith not to address your own dysfunction. Why you can't stay at one job?
Hmm.
Why you can't, even if you're transitioning up the ladder or moving for better opportunity, God not gonna have you quit 6, 7 jobs in a 1 year, 2 year period. Then you keep going through struggles and lack because you keep quitting jobs. That is foolish.
In the name of trusting God.
No. That's foolish. And like I said, we've known men and women that
These are
have done this.
grown folks though.
Exactly. But see, these are grown people, and many of these people have at least been somebody's deacon or higher. That, you know, that's the concerning part. How is it that you have responsibility and your faith is this foolish? And this is why this needs to be a qualifier before people are ordained or affirmed, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that don't have nothing to do with God calling. No, it doesn't. But if this is how you handle your personal life, this is your faith, you don't need to be in a position of influence in the ministry, influencing other people with your dysfunctional stupidity.
Hmm. I
It is
know
what it is.
I know leaders that want to see your credit score before they ordain you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because see, here's the thing. They want to make sure that you are stable in all areas. So that way you won't misrepresent Jesus, you won't misrepresent the ministry or anything like that. So this is why, while you're applying your faith,
Mm-hmm.
you need to apply your faith to the stabilization of your life.
Absolutely.
And that means, and listen, I don't care how gifted you are. God ain't calling you to full-time ministry if full-time provision ain't there.
Right.
And honestly, with the way the economy going and stuff like that, ain't a whole lot of this full-time ministry stuff we're gonna be seeing like that.
Nope.
Yeah, the workman's worthy of his hire, and double honor and all that. We get all that. But there's gonna be very few in between that's gonna be able to live like that.
Unless you on TD Jakes level.
And even the mega church is struggling. The mega
Mm-hmm.
churches are struggling to
Y'all notice,
transition.
if you pay attention when you watch mega church services, ever since COVID, they done put a little curtain across the auditorium so you can't see all the little empty seats back there.
Hmm.
Because them auditoriums ain't full like they used to be.
Right, for real. And most mega churches, it said that most mega churches, even some of the big names, most mega churches struggled during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them struggled during COVID.
Because people was out of work.
Yeah. Yeah, and people gonna choose. Everybody faith ain't. Most people faith ain't. Where it need to be. People are going to preserve their house before they pay their tithes.
Mm-hmm.
People ain't gonna take they're not gonna take their food, their tithe money that they sold it to you when they need to eat and pay bills. They're not gonna do it. So in this time and season, this is why you got to get stable in all areas of your life. You can't be impulsive,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people, they use what they call faith is nothing but impulse.
Or stupidity.
That too.
Or laziness. Like I said, it's covering up some kind of underlying dysfunction.
Yeah.
And that's what has to be addressed. That's exactly what has to be addressed. And it doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a hard conversation to have. And a lot of people, when they're faced with it, they're uncomfortable or they're embarrassed or, whatever. We knew somebody, long story short, the person was in a season of their life to which, they were homeless and they were staying from place to place. and they were asking for money, to help them while they were transitioning in their journey. And it's like, okay, I thought you had a job. Well, I did have a job, but the Lord told me to quit that one, and I done left that state and I done moved to this state. And it's just like, okay, you had a whole job that you quit like 3 weeks ago, and now you're in a situation where you're asking for money, but you quit a job you had and moved to another state in 3 weeks.
But then won't help.
Why didn't you just keep that job and get one more paycheck, and then you wouldn't have had to do that?
Right.
So this is an example of foolish faith, because if you're trusting God, yes, sometimes it's tight, yes, sometimes it's interesting, but see, we just do things without thinking, and then I'm trusting God, or I'm following in faith. That's not for everybody. Yes, there are seasons He will call you to do some radical things. There's some great testimonies. We've got some amazing testimonies that we'll share in another setting. But a lot of these people, they're lazy, they're irresponsible, they're dysfunctional, and they disguise it under the guise of faith. And it creates a situation where, honestly, you make some people feel like they don't want to be benevolent because they don't know if you're lying or not. They don't know the whole story of what's going on. The proof should always be in the provision. If this is really a God move or a faith move, you should be able to see what's, on the other side of it.
Most millionaires or people that's wealthy or affluent,
Mm-hmm.
they give to something that's doing something.
Mm-hmm.
They give to productivity. They don't give to anything sitting still.
That's good.
Why do you think they give to charity so much? Huh? It ain't just for the write off. I'm going to put my money that I know that's doing something.
Mm.
You understand? So anybody that's wise will understand that, I have to invest my money where into something that's moving. So why do you want help when you ain't doing nothing? Come
Mm.
on. You done made all these decisions in the name of faith. And see, that's why the Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom keeps you from looking foolish and doing stupid stuff.
Mm.
Wisdom is the principal thing. We still talking about foolish faith now, because see, when you don't got wisdom, you operate in foolish faith. See, wisdom tells you where to aim your faith. Okay. But see, when it's just faith first and no wisdom, you get impulsive. You make crazy life decisions here, there, everywhere, and then you get no results.
Mm.
Yeah, faith without works is dead. Okay, you got to put some works behind your faith. But see, there is a such thing as making foolish moves.
Mm.
Wisdom keeps you from making foolish moves. And then guess what? I'm gonna believe God, and God don't show up.
You believe in Him for what? That He didn't tell you. He didn't tell you He was gonna do that. You just decided that you was gonna have the audacity to tell Him to do that. He didn't say nothing about that.
God, I know your word says I'm standing on your promises. See, this is how we get disappointed.
And
with
the
God.
Lord is saying, quit being ignorant.
Study to show yourself approved. Go book an appointment with your pastors.
Stop being lazy.
Right. Don't quit your job. Stay there. When he getting on my nerves, aren't you supposed to have character?
Mind your business and do your work and go home.
The fruit of the spirit. See, all the stuff that y'all don't want to hear is what God be telling you.
Exactly.
I want to leave. No, stay. Fruit of the spirit. Self-control. Forgive your co-workers.
Build another stream of income and you don't have to deal with them.
Manage the money you got. Stop going out to eat. Cook at home. Okay, cook at home. See, this is how I know God don't be talking to folk.
Mm-hmm.
God don't be talking to folk because, see, God is not slow. He is not slow. He got more sense than we give him credit for.
Right, a whole lot more.
Matter of fact, wisdom is the common sense of God. And all thy ways get understanding. So when you get wisdom, you need to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon asked for a wise and understanding heart, and that's why God blessed him. Y'all want money, but you need wisdom on how to maneuver. You need to learn to understand things.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, God is telling you, stay put. Stop being a vagabond bastard all over the place. You're too unstable. What example are you setting for your children? They're looking at you and hating me. Yeah, for real. Some of y'all kids grew up and hate God because you unstable in the name of faith and you quickening and homeless. You quickening going from pillar to post.
Woo!
You don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Crazy. A lot of y'all children grow up and hate God because of your dysfunction.
I'm the quickening. It was the quickening and homeless for me.
Yeah, like if you don't have a stable place to stay, no roof over your head, and you always worrying about what you're quickening for. The same spirit that got you quickening should be telling you, okay, how
some crowd on them. That's
how to get the money. I mean, come on now.
Some crowd on them.
Y'all act like God is. We make God look bad. We make the faith look bad.
Just a hot mess.
We make the faith look bad, doing all this foolishness. You trust God and believe God. You know, my earlier years, I used to have faith like that. I used to have faith like
that.
But
it worked.
Yeah, I'm talking about before I met you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that definitely worked when we were together because I was a lot more wiser. but before then, man, shoot, the prophet tell me to sow anything, I sow it. I ain't seen near bit of fruit or nothing. And here it is. I owe rent where I stay, but I'm sowing because the prophet said so. Crazy. Now, of course, you know, God will have you to make faith moves like that. You know, God will have you make faith moves sometime, but that's depending on your faith. But it should get results. If you find yourself doing a bunch of sowing and not doing a bunch of reaping, it's either because you are sowing foolishly or you missed your harvest. And that's a whole different teaching. People need to learn how to discern their harvest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and a lot of y'all are nitpicky. That's why you miss your harvest. But all this bucking and quickening and prophesying, and you broke and poor and busted and disgusted, dysfunctional, don't know where your next meal gonna come from, and all this other stuff, you make Jesus look bad.
You can't be in a homeless shelter quickening and prophesying.
No. And how many times we've seen that though?
A lot.
You're homeless and you're trying to minister to a bunch of people in the shelter. You in the same condition as them. You in the same boat.
You didn't visit the shelter to minister to them. You live there. That's your bunkmate.
Yeah. And I'm not saying God can't use you like that, but see, you are a poor witness.
That part. Because some people, and it don't make it right, but some people's mindset is, okay, you stand in a homeless shelter like I am. What can you do for me? If what you have is so much better, why you here with me?
Right.
It's not wise. Now, obviously, if you move and healing and somebody's sick about to die, of course, yes, pray for them, heal them. But it's not wise for you to be ministering to telling everybody about their life when you living in the same shelter they living in.
Come on now. Let's just be honest. Some of y'all may not like that. Some of y'all may not like that. You may think that sounds harsh or that sounds cruel, but that's the reality. That's how people in the world look at you.
Mm-hmm. Like that lady that was singing in the airport.
Y'all, and I'm sure the video done went
It
viral.
done
Was
went
about to
viral
go
by now.
viral.
Y'all done seen it. Y'all done seen it
There was this lady that was singing in the airport,
with her headphones
headphone,
on
Yahweh, just singing and
at the top of her
at the
lungs,
top of her
doing all
lungs,
of this.
looking like a doggone fool.
Just all this in the
And I bet
airport.
you somebody religious praise him, baby. Just praise him wherever you make us look
You
like
shouldn't
we.
be so loud that the whole like section of the airport can hear you.
Christianity is already deep. It's already prophetic, apostolic, mystical in some senses. Okay, and all that stuff. Okay, we already deeply spiritual people.
Already.
So you stuff like that's making us look like wackos. Like
Right.
we don't know whether we coming or going. We don't know nothing.
We got to do better, saints. We
Foolish
got to
faith.
do better.
And see, we think we honoring God by doing stupid stuff like that.
No, you're embarrassing.
Man, listen, I would if I was in the airport, I would have been embarrassed for her.
Mm.
Baby, I don't care how desperate you are. You do all that crying before you leave the house. When you do all that crying watching before you leave the house. You at the airport.
In public.
You at the airport making us look bad. You at the airport making us look bad like that. Oh, boldly proclaim your faith. That's what people say. Boldly proclaim your faith.
I'm not denying it by not being
Right.
ignorant and embarrassing the faith.
There's a time and a place for everything. You see what I'm saying? But at the airport, see, you know, my grandma used to say, you can attract more bees with honey than vinegar. Right? That's vinegary. Yahweh! Yahweh! Oh, Jesus.
Them people in the airport looking like they just trying to eat their bagel and drink their coffee and mind their business.
It's better.
That's all. It's early and just
You can't win about it like that.
Mm-mm.
You can engage in conversation. You know, we've been in some of the most awkward places and have engaged in conversation with people only to be able to minister to them.
yes.
You see what I'm saying? Now, God can move anywhere, but God can speak anywhere, but God got common sense. Okay, God is deep, but he's not spooky and unrelatable. He knows how to reach people.
Right.
And all that. Yahweh. Oh, Jesus. That ain't cool. That's what you do in your private prayer time with
That's
the
for
Lord.
your look. That's for your prayer closet.
That's for your prayer closet or maybe corporate worship at church. That's where you look ugly. That's where you look ugly in your worship, but not all in public. That's some Pharisaic stuff. You know, remember Jesus rebuked the scribes and the Pharisees, and he said, "Don't pray like them, because they like to be seen of men when they pray and stuff." See, that's that Pharisaical stuff. That's a religious spirit.
That's exactly what it is.
And see, foolish faith is fueled by this because you're so bent on your image of righteousness before God and before people. You know, people who use this foolish faith and they end up suffering, they act like they suffered for the Lord. So they want to look more righteous. You know, well, God got me doing this. God got me doing it.
Then why are you telling everybody?
First of all, if God got you doing it, you wouldn't be homeless.
Oh.
If God got you doing it, you would have some money.
Mm.
If God, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I was reading about Joseph earlier. Don't you know Joseph was prosperous as a slave? How can we wrap our mind around that?
Mm.
Because see, he was in Potiphar's house, okay, as a slave, and Potiphar saw that God was with him and that God prospered him as a slave.
As a slave.
How can you prosper as a slave? You understand what I'm saying? You know, and then he put Joseph over over his entire estate. See, if God got you making all these movements, there will be some fruit. There'll be some prosperity. There'll be some favor, not homelessness,
Mm.
not being broke, not being all sickly in your body and stressed out. Okay. Well, you don't know people's journey. Well, I can read in scripture how God dealt with man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the ones that God called had money. Elijah, Elijah was by the brook. Okay. He was by the brook and he had water from the brook, and the ravens, dirty birds, came and fed him. There was provision there.
Mm.
Okay. Even in your low place, there should be provision. And Elijah didn't have to beg for provision. Provision came through a dirty bird. So if your so-called low season is all that, then God will use dirty birds to feed you.
Mm.
He'll use any and everybody to feed you.
Any and everybody.
My God, he may give you favor with the neighborhood drug dealer. He said, hey, let me find your groceries. Let me buy your groceries for 2 weeks. I'm just throwing out examples.
Mm-hmm.
Because God can use anything and anyone to provide. But see, all this unstableness and all this foolish faith, it makes us look bad.
Hot mess.
Makes us look bad. That's why you got to plan. Ain't nothing wrong with planning. Matter of fact, planning shows that you have faith because you believe in whatever's about to be executed. Instead of just all willy-nilly just going out there because you got an itch and an impulse. Enough of that. Y'all stop that. Y'all stop that foolishness. Stop that impulsive faith and calling it God. God got more sense in it. And see, this is why God leads with the apostolic.
Mm-hmm.
Because apostles are more strategic.
Mm-hmm.
True apostles who've been made by God, they got great faith. All right. So they'll step out there and do something great for God. Okay, they'll step out there on nothing. But guess what? We're not true apostles who have been processed right are not impulsive. They're not going to just be going out here just doing stuff because they got an itch or they got a feeling or this feels right. No, we got to know that it is right. And when we know that it is right, then we're going to plan accordingly. We don't just make all. See, prophetic people tend to be impulsive like that. Apostolic people are more solid. Okay, they'll receive a prophecy, but they're not going to be moved by it. Because we're going to pick that thing through and through, okay, to make sure it fits with what God's saying. Prophetic people, they'll just receive it because you prophesied it. I receive. No, baby, I'm not finna be all over the floor rolling around talking about I receive. Okay, I'm listening intently. Okay. To make sure what you're saying is right.
Mm-hmm.
And see, foolish faith is fueled also by foolish prophecy. But that's a different teaching for another day.
Listen, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I hope y'all got some insight. And I really pray that y'all grasp the common sense outside of the laughs and the jokes. Let's be for real, y'all. Come on. We got to be a better example. We need to give people something to look towards and something to strive for, not another reason to point the finger and say, this is why I don't deal with this. So tell us down in the comments what you think, how this has helped you. If maybe that was you, or maybe you've known people like that, and maybe you've been able to help snap them into reality. We want to hear from you. Join us next time on the F3 podcast. Goodbye.